Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mayor's Riverfront Park here in sunny Kalamazoo, Michigan. As here today between Kalamazoo FC and Cleveland Force, we have a good USLW matchup. Before we get into it, the away 11 here for Cleveland Force as Bobel, Ott, Howe, Golden, Contini, and the defenders for Cleveland Force looking to keep away this troublesome starting 11 for Kalamazoo FC of Kama Mockery, Cunningham, Corhorn, and the defensive Maddie Canada, Claudia Musig, Ariana Stolfis, and a lot of other defenders. Kaylin Junk's going to be in the net to start this one out for Kalamazoo FC as we are about to get going here. A USLW Great Lakes matchup about to get off and underway as the home team Eagles looking to find their way back into the win column today as the last two results, two tough losses, both 1-0 games, looking to, like I said, hop their way back into the win column here. It's quickly coming out, goes to Kama Mockery, pushing into that right side, puts a shot up, but that's going to be saved off the foot of Berezi. As Claudia Music now in that left corner, trying to look in which way she wants to go as she's looking for Coach Ennis. That one going to hop out of bounds, and here in comes a corner kick. As like we were talking about, those last two results for Kalamazoo FC, two tough losses, 1-0 games against Midwest United and AFC Ann Arbor, as now back here at home, trying to find their way into the win column and keep their hopes for the playoff alive, as that was a good ball played into the middle, just missing a fellow Eagle on the receiving end. That good looks early on as we're still just not a minute, or just barely a minute into this game. As Cleveland Force going to just try and find something here in the early half against Kalamazoo FC, working that left side. And now Kalamazoo able to take over in midfield, trying to get something over for Coach Ennis on that left side. As back into Stolfitz it goes. Ariana going to drive left side. Try and get a move on. Get the defender around. They're going to play something atop the 18, looking for Musig. And then slowing up. And a whistle by the officials. As this is going to start a three-game home stretch here for Kalamazoo FC, as they're going to welcome Cleveland Force here today. And then the first of the next month, we're going to be seeing Flint City in the next game here at Mayor's Riverfront Park, and then followed off by Detroit City FC. Two good teams atop the division here. Well, Flint City, the defending champions, and Detroit City FC, a 3-0 right now. And one of the top contenders in the Great Lakes Division. But first, here comes Cleveland Force. They're going to put a move on. Get Kaylin Junk out in front, and that's a good goal for Cleveland Force to get this one early in this matchup, getting by the Eagles, the defensive lap, and a good goal for Cleveland Force to put them up 1-0 over Kalamazoo FC. Not the start the Eagles were looking for here at home, especially against this Cleveland team that all along this season has only had 2 goals. They're going to find one quickly here against Kalamazoo. Not the start Kalamazoo's looking for, but now trying to find the answer. It's the last time here at home they trail, tie the game up 1-1. It was the home opener here against AFC Ann Arbor. This time, though, trailing by 1, and now they're going to have to do some work to put themselves ahead, but a costly takeaway early into this one as Kyla Newcomb going to try and slow things up near midfield. As back around it goes for Cleveland, trying to get Kalamazoo's defense off foot and take advantage from the defenders they can get around. Near midfield it goes for Antonio. Now switching it up and going right side goes Cleveland. near their sideline as this one's going to be Demerlay. Demerlay plays it off into that back line, now quickly up midfield, trying to get something over the cross, but back into Demerlay. And only to get this taken away by Mackenzie Jones. Jones going to play something into Claudia Musig. Musig slipping up on the grass, but that's still going to go out. Last touch by Cleveland Force, so the Eagles get to take over near midfield. Stolfus the toss in. Not much room along that sideline. They're just going to play it back into Mackenzie Ford. Ford plays into Junk. Kalen Junk now plays in that back line. They're going to try and give something to middle to Corhorn here, but swarmed by that Cleveland Forest defense goes Bailey Corhorn. And a takeaway here in the defensive half for Kalamazoo FC, produced by Claudia Musig, is now attacking the middle. It goes with Maddie Canada. Canada going to send something up that sideline. Trying to put something on against that goalie, but just a little too far up the pitch it goes. Good attempt there by Callie Cunningham. Stolfus for Kalamazoo FC. And a bad pass and a takeaway now for Kalamazoo FC as they're going to play it up into Kochenis. As Kochenis going to try and switch over that side and play it into Cunningham. Cunningham has a lot of room as defended there by Ma. Switches up and out of bounds. Last going to be touched by Cleveland Force, so this is going to be a good toss in here for Kyla Newcomb going to play this one in. Bailey Corhorn trying to get something going. However, just going to get this one deflected and a corner kick on the way here for Kalamazoo FC. Corhorn trying to really get inside that defense into the interior of that 18 box. As now it's going to be another corner kick here for Kalamazoo FC. Kalamazoo right now sitting fourth in the Great Lakes Division. Current record of 1-2-1. As they sit now trailing early in this first half to Cleveland Force 1-0 as of the time playing each other. Cleveland Force and Kalamazoo FC. Just 2-0 is the record as Kalamazoo won both the games last year against Cleveland Force. Cleveland looking to hop on top of the matchup this year in the first one. But they're going to see if they can hold on here because they still have a whole first half to play. See what halftime is and then a whole nother second half. But early scoring and now having a little breakaway momentum here. They're going to play something up inside to Howe Golden. And then that's going to roll out of bounds. Kalen Junk going to come away with a free goal kick here. Try and set up the Eagles in fashion. Junk going to play this. Middle of the field it goes. Cleveland Force with the first touch, but coming away with it goes Claudia Musig. She's going to poke it into Kalamazoo's offensive zone, and then Cleveland Force going to take over in their defensive half. As a couple of Eagle offensive players all over that one. However, the whistle going to stop the momentum, freeze up play. Cleveland Force going to take over in their defensive half. A good break for Cleveland right there. Is a lot of ways Kalamazoo could have executed off there if the no whistle. However, Kalamazoo going to take over midfield after free kick. As it's popped back up in the air, Claudia Musig coming down with it, only for Cleveland Force's Contini to come away with it. Contini's going to look for somebody to play here into the 18, as she's going to rifle a shot off now atop the 18, and deflected and into Corhorn it goes for Kalamazoo. Canada, she's going to play it right side, looking here, Mackenzie Jones. Jones going to try and play something up into a Mockery, but too much it goes. Stacy Berezi, the goalkeeper for Cleveland Force, going to have easy doing here. She's just going to roll this into her back line with Fossil. Fossil going to play something up. Good defense played by Ariana Stolfus of Kalamazoo. Demerlay pressed on. Good passing, though, from Cleveland Force to try and move this ball up across midfield. Only for a forced pass. And Kalamazoo takes over in their defensive half. Kalamazoo trying to switch up the direction of the field here, trying to find an opening against this Force defense, which in the first couple of minutes has been very productive for this Cleveland club. Kalamazoo FC, they're going to play this one into Bailey Colehorn, trying to challenge Berezi as that one stopped in its tracks. Good keeping there for Cleveland's goalie. Out of bounds it goes. Last touch by Cleveland Force. Kalamazoo going to get a toss in. If they want to hustle, they could keep momentum at their side. However, Cleveland going to have time to set up. It's now Cunningham on the toss. As it goes into a Mockery. Kama Mockery saying she didn't touch it last, and that's going to set up a corner kick here for Kalamazoo FC. That's last touched baseline by a Force defender. Now Ariana Stolfus coming in. 10 minutes into this matchup, a 1-0 lead for Cleveland over the home defending Eagles. It's just the first of a 3-game home stretch here. Them again in doubleheader fashion this next Saturday, along with the men's team here at home, as the men playing Midwest United over in Grand Rapids as they're looking to take on a top opponent in them in the Great Lakes Division. It's good defense being played by Cleveland to pop this one out. And nothing coming on the offensive half for Kalamazoo. Only to get it taken away, and now Maddie Canada with it near midfield. Canada going to get a whistle here from the officials. Too much contact. And then back into play it goes off the foot of Canada. Canada plays over to Cunningham. Cunningham back to Canada. Canada trying to slow things back up and go into that back line. It's up across midfield, though, still in Kalamazoo's offensive half. Ford going to go left side to Stolfus. Stolfus cuts back in, gives back to Ford. Ford looking for something inside that 18. She's going to have Corehorn on the inside. A couple of ways Corehorn can go with it. Draped with 2 defenders all over. It cuts back to that left side. Puts one up. And then scooped up and well taken care of by Berezi. Cleveland Force just playing this one into Batira. And then slowing up. Trying to take their time on this attack, but almost a botched pass into a Kama Mockery, but Berezi going to bail out that defense one more time. Back into a Kama it goes. Chooses to spin to the right. That one shot off, but a whistle from the officials as Berezi not having to do anything. Still making a good save, getting a hand on the ball and deflecting it out. As, I mean, the whistle's stopping anything regardless of Berezi's attempt. And the score stays right where it's at, 1-0, as the Force lead it here in Kalamazoo's opening of a 3-game home series. Looking to hop back into the win column after a tough 2 games following a 3-0 win over the Michiana Lions. After what was a heartbreaking, well, not, you can't say heartbreaking, but rather devastating first home game for this team. Really looking for the win to come away with the tie, but letting the early goal only to meet it up in that first home matchup and keep momentum going. As into the 18 it goes, but then booted away. Good defense by Mackenzie Jones and slowing up this attack from Force. As more great defending from the Eagles as goes Callie Cunningham now, taken away and crossing midfield. She's just going to send something up there for a Mockery. As getting to the same time is the goalie Berezi. As Berezi's going to slow them back up and try and start a Force attack here with some success and momentum. As booming off the foot it goes near midfield. It's going to be touched by Howe Golden. And then taken away this one. It's going to be Kalamazoo FC coming away with it. Only to force a pass and Force coming away. It's now last touch by an Eagle. Played up into Lauren Kochenis. Kochenis going to go to Cunningham. Cunningham looking to shoot up right side to Amakri. However, Forrest going to have a defender in Miri. Amakri going to get a takeaway here. Now trying to put something in along the bottom line. And then out of bounds it goes. They're going to say last touch by Kalamazoo FC. And a goal kick here for Cleveland Force. Has Berezi going to use that leg once again. Force now trying to cross midfield only to get met by that wall in Kalamazoo FC's defense. Force trying to go around what Kalamazoo plays something into Bobel. As Lily Babel going to go out of bounds with it and coming away with another tossing goes Demerle. Demerle plays into Howe Golden. And into that back line it goes, trying to switch up sides of the field. Goes Cleveland Force. Now playing it back into their goalie. Unsure which way they're trying to attack this team. Not much going as they're going to try and get something into the middle to Corhorn, only to get it taken away by the Cleveland Force. Goes Kalamazoo FC. Force now trying to set something up in their attacking end. Left side it goes. Plays a ball into Babel. Babel to get this one taken away. Cunningham with it right side. Setting up Amakri midfield. Amakri goes back to Bailey Corhorn. Corhorn back to Amakri. Now left side it goes to Stolfis. Stolfis trying to get there before Demerle, but Demerle playing good defense and a great ball read there for that Force team. Another good read offensively for the Force. They're going to play this one into the 18. Nobody on the receiving end, just over the top of a couple of defenders. And an attacking offensive player for Cleveland Force. Still in their offensive half it goes. A shot ringing off the left foot. That one by Lauren Cantini. However, just wide up top. And still a 1-0 ball game here. As Kalen Junk in net. Not really having much to tempt her other than that one goal, which was just a defensive lapse here for Kalamazoo FC in the early going. Getting everything figured out the last couple 15 minutes or so here in this first half. Still trailing the Force, though, 1-0 at home. Is now played to the middle, but into Bailey Corhorn it goes. Corhorn trying to set up a mockery. Then a mockery going to get some contact near the middle of the field. Force going to come away with it. Trying to play something over the top. As bouncing off a couple of heads it goes. And then Akema Amakri using the speed. She's going to try and play something into Callie Cunningham. But then just out of bounds. And letting the Force set up again is that back line. Not sure which Force player in that defense it was. However, smart idea just to let your team catch up. Catch your breath and play this off the inbound. Off the inbound, it goes to Corhorn, middle of the field. She's going to get this one poked out, as that's going to be Babel coming away with it. Only to meet Jones at the middle of the field and play it into a mockery in the attacking zone for Kalamazoo FC. She's going to play it back into Mackenzie Jones. Jones looking which way she wants to read it. She's going to cut back, go left, uses the left foot, lays this one up. Is that one going to fall down on the far side of Coach Hennis? Coach Hennis going to throw this one back to Music. Music off the left foot and in. Claudia Music answers the Cleveland Force goal in the first half, and we're all tied up at 1 apiece here in Kalamazoo. A great feed into Claudia Music, and what a finish to tie it all up here in the first half. 1 apiece. Kalamazoo finds the answer they need. And boy, oh boy, do we have a game here at Mayor's Riverfront Park. 19 minutes into this one, and we are tied 1 apiece. What a feed, and what a shot by the CMU product, Claudia Music. Music right after the goal, back and into action. As Force going to disrupt, try and play something over top, only to get it out of bounds. Some pushing and shoving down that sideline in between players. Showing just how much they want it down there on the field. All tied up as we were approaching that 20th minute of play here in this first half. Inbound here for the Force. Cleveland's looking to set something up, try and expose the defense and find another lapse as the Eagles trying to do the same. However, inbounded to Antonio, almost throwing it, but decides to kick it and send it back over near midfield. Off the head of number 8, Kochenis it goes. And out of bounds. So another toss in here for Kalamazoo, or excuse me, for Cleveland Force. As some good defense played by Claudia Music. That one bounced out as Isabella Antonio. Well defended there by Music. Thrown in and then almost out, but kept in by Claudia Music. Almost a wasteful possession there for Cleveland Force as they find a room off that left sideline. Now played into the middle of the field. This one's going to be Antonio. Antonio cutting back, trying to use that left foot. As after the deflection, trying to feed it now into Cunningham, it goes. As after the deflection, it was just a straight-up dead sprint down that sideline for Cunningham, and you can tell now she's tired. Just walking all over to that ball. Hands on the knees. She's going to need the air because the hustle down the sideline, trying to get after that ball. But now in the toss into Amakri. Amakri atop the 18. She's going to keep trying to go left side with it, using the left foot, deflected by a Force defender. So it's going to go back the other way. Junk coming out of the net. She's going to slow things up and keep it in Kalamazoo's possession. Played left side into that back line. Mackenzie Ford crossing midfield. Plays into Stolfus. Last touch out of bounds by, that's going to be number 5, Taylor Demerle of Cleveland Force. Stolfus with the throw-in. She's going to feed a Mockery. Mockery trying to go right side, looking for Corhorn. Bailey fakes left, goes right. Plays back in to Kochenis. Stolfus getting tripped up, and there's the whistle that they were looking for. As it's going to set up a free kick along that left sideline for Kalamazoo. As Mackenzie Ford going to come in and take the free kick. Try and send something over to a Mockery and Bailey Corhorn on that right side of the 18. That'd have to be the guess. It's a little far out of striking distance. We'll see which way Jones wants to go. Mackenzie Ford wants to go. She's going to rip this one off and right into the direction where I thought she was going to go. Finds a Mockery into Corhorn. It goes. Right shot. That's going to be blocked. And a collision inside the 8. And the fans trying to let him hear it. However, I'm going to say it's the right call. Too much going on. Heat of the moment. Cleveland Force coming away with the save and a sigh of relief right there. Everything's going to stay tied up. One apiece as we're into the 23rd minute, approaching that 24th. Cleveland Force trying to get something down their right sideline. That one, though, going to roll out of bounds. Kalamazoo's going to take over deep inside their defensive end. Cleveland Force could play up a little bit and try and keep this one in their attacking zone. So there's probably just going to be 20 minutes or so left in this first half. As the inbounding throw going to be off the head of Corhorn and then back into the back line for Cleveland Force. They're going to try and play this one up into Howe Golden on that left side. Then out of bounds it goes. Last touch by Michaela Howe Golden. And a toss in here for Kalamazoo FC as they're going to try and play it into a Mockery. It's going to be a wasteful possession almost. And then sent back into Cleveland's back line, only to have Callie Cunningham chasing him down that right sideline. And I mean, man, oh man, is she giving some hustle here in this first half. So there's going to be a ball played in the air, last touch by Claudia Musig, and then taken away by Cleveland Force. As quickly moving across the middle of the field it goes for Demerlay. Demerlay plays something into Babel. Babel down that right sideline. Going to cut back and play back into Demerlay. And then good defense there by Claudia Musig to try and poke that one out and give Kalamazoo a chance at it. And then deflected off and out of bounds it goes off Lauren Kochenis. As the inbound for Cleveland Force and some unwanted contact seen by the official from Maddie Canada. Canada trying to plead her case, but the official going to point her back the other way. Give some breathing room here. Try and set up a successful attack here for Cleveland Force. 25 minutes, approaching that 26th minute. All tied up, 1 goal apiece here. As Mackenzie Muir going to try and strike this one and give something to challenge Junk. Not a lot of teammates inside the 18 from this zone. Could see a shot here from Mackenzie Muir. Which way they want to try and challenge Junk. They're going to go left side. Nothing on the receiving end. As it looked like it could have been a good chance. Nothing though, just all over top. Nobody able to find something on the receiving end of that lob off the foot of Muir. And I mean, it looked good from up here in the press box, just a little too much underneath it. Not able to find anybody on the receiving end. So it's going to keep everything tied up, 1 apiece here, approaching that 27th minute. Cleveland Forest trying to strike something into their attacking zone. Just a little too much underneath it, though, as it's going to be grabbed by Junk. So now she's just going to roll this one over to Cunningham. Cunningham with a cutback, going to get somebody to drop dangerously, and then the whistle. As the official's done giving the words that she said, and we're able here to resume play as Kayla Newcomb going to blast this one into Kalamazoo's attacking zone, as finding on the receiving end and then taking away, it goes for Babel. As a good ball read by Mackenzie Jones to go up and kind of get in the way, take away what Cleveland Force thought they had going. Now quickly crossing the midfield it goes. Bailey Corhorn left-sided, attacking chance for Kalamazoo. They're going to try and play something into erupting what Kalamazoo had brewing. Goes Cleveland Force. Slowed back up near the middle of the field. It goes to Mackenzie Ford. Ford going to play something looking for Corhorn, middle of the field. Now it's going to find a Mockery in that middle. She's going to shoot it left side, or right side, excuse me, for Cunningham. That's just going to wind up out of bounds. A toss in here. For Cleveland Force, excuse me. So trying to get something going. Attacking middle of the field. And now a takeaway here by Kalamazoo FC. Bailey Corhorn cutting into the 18. Cutting left to right. Using the left foot. And then Cleveland Force going to take it and just send that well out of bounds. A good chance there for Bailey Corhorn to do some damage. However, nothing on the receiving end, as Bailey Corhorn was swarmed there by defenders. As out of the goal kick goes out of bounds and wasteful in possession it goes for Cleveland Force. Little frustration showing down there on the face of the players. Now Kalamazoo FC in their attacking zone, they're going to have a Kayla Mockery playing something over that left side, but disrupted, and a good read off the pass. As slowing down it goes for Kalamazoo FC. Good move by Stolfus to keep this one in bounds. She's just going to slow it up and play it into Ford. Mackenzie Ford, she's going to look, try and go to Cunningham. Cunningham fakes right side and plays it back into Ford. As a bad pass off the foot of Ford it goes. But now Mackenzie Jones touching in middle of the field. A takeaway here now once again for Kalamazoo. Try and switch up opposite sides of the field. Look for Demerle. Demerle plays something into Antonio, middle of the field, draped by Claudia Musig. Musig playing good defense here in this first half. Also, the lone goal scorer for Kalamazoo so far in this game, as she's tied this game up at 1 apiece. The early goal from Cleveland Force, if you're just joining us, Cleveland scoring in the first 2 minutes of this matchup, and Kalamazoo finding a later goal off the foot of Claudia Musig. Well played by Kalamazoo to net that goal and even things up here at 1. So now we're trying to see who can get that goal and put themselves ahead of one another. As into the back line, and with Mackenzie Jones, it goes for Kalamazoo. Near midfield with Maddie Canada now. Off the foot, looking for Stolfus. Stolfus going to cut back in, try and get something on that middle. However, Coach Ennis not able to get on it, but a wasteful pass from Cleveland Force, and now Coach Ennis going to have it on that left side. She's going to feed Canada. Canada with the ball over the middle. Nobody able to get something on the receiving end, though. Just a little too much off the foot for Kalamazoo FC. And out of bounds it goes. It's going to set up a goal kick here. I do believe. I mean, couldn't see over into that corner. Nobody is giving a signal either. Cleveland Force now trying to get something going. Shooting over the middle of the field it goes. But Mackenzie Ford, excuse me, going to be there on the receiving end as Ford plays into Junk. Junk going to give to Jones. Jones now plays to Canada as Ford now with it on that left end. Trying to shoot something over top, middle of the field to Bailey Corhorn. Corhorn on the receiving end. Got a defender draped all over her. As the whistle going to slow up play here. And Cleveland Force now going to have time to get players where they want. Try and set up an attack and get something into their offensive zone. As quickly off the foot of Baresi it goes. However, nobody on that attacking team was able to get on the other end of it, and it's just going to go straight back into Kalamazoo's possession on their defensive end. 33 minutes gone by. All tied up at 1 apiece here at Mayor's Riverfront Park in Kalamazoo, Michigan. As it looked like it was going to be a gloomy one at the start of it. Just a little cloudy, 65 degrees. Nice call for some USLW soccer here in the Great Lakes Division, as the opponents here today, both in the USLW Great Lakes Division, as Bailey Corhorn going to have something going into the middle of the 18. She's going to cut back, use that left foot. Practically 2 defenders all over her. Still having breathing room to get it around the horn to Akema Amakri using that right foot, but that's just left up top. A good attack in this first half, other than the early first minutes for Cleveland Force. A lot of attacking chances, though, for Kalamazoo FC. Still just a 1-1 game, excuse me, as we're here in the 34th minute of this one. So right now, across the Great Lakes Division, not including this game being played right now, first place in the USLW's Midwest United, sitting there at 3-0, and then tied for first is Detroit City, also 3-0. The Force getting something going now into their own 18, deflected off a Kalamazoo FC defender, and Mackenzie Ford going to take care of this one, send it back Cleveland Force's way. But other than those two teams tied up with 9 points at the top, AFC Ann Arbor with 7 points, 3 matches played, 2-0 or 2-0-1 on the season, with the tie coming to us here at home. Kalamazoo sitting in 4th with a 1-2-1 record, looking to hop back in the win column here today and up their chances into that USLW playoffs. And then the bottom 3 teams right now, the defending champs under Kalamazoo FC, and then Cleveland Force and Michiana Lions still looking for their first win on this 2024 campaign, as the Force would love to get it here against an opponent ranked higher than them this season. As for the two teams in this matchup, Kalamazoo having 4 goals forward, only allowing 3, as good defense being played throughout this season so far through 3 games. Only having a couple of lapses here and there. So they had one earlier in the matchup, looking to play some great defense here, and a stop and takeaway by Maddie Canada. Trying to play something in to Cunningham. As Cunningham now going to have a couple of ways she can go with it. She's playing middle to a Mockery, as it came a Mockery to slow it up and try and look for Claudia Music. Music cuts back, uses the right foot, puts a shot up, and that one, wrong goalpost, but off the bar it goes. A good look, though, for Claudia Music outside the 18. You'll take that every day. As now Berezi, the goalkeeper, in net for Cleveland Force, trying to do everything that she can to keep this right where it's at and go into that first half tied. Same thing over on the other end in Junk. Both keepers wanting to keep the score right where it's at and let their team get ahead. It's both keepers playing really good minutes so far here in this first half, both getting a couple of saves early on. A couple of lapses defensively from both these teams as bodies hitting the floor, and we're going to get a whistle now, as that yellow card's going to come out to play for the first time in this matchup. It's going to go against Kalamazoo FC, I would assume, as up and goes with it is Maddie Canada. As she pops up, so does the yellow card that she will receive, as it's just the first one in this matchup, and she's only going to get one more, but you don't want to play a man stranded here against this Cleveland Forest club, especially when you're tied here in the first half. You can't have any gimmies against any of these teams in this Great Lakes division. Mackenzie Muir taking the second free kick here for Cleveland Force, as the last time everybody broke off on that left side into the 18. Probably going to be the same game plan if I would have to think. Lobbed up into that left side, but on the receiving end is a defender for Kalamazoo FC. I believe last touch by Mackenzie Ford, as that's going to roll out of bounds. That one last touch by Cleveland Force. So Kalamazoo FC going to take over and set something up. Approaching halftime is this first half. 38 minutes, approaching the 39th. So we're still tied up here, one apiece in this USLW Great Lakes divisional matchup here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Mayor's Riverfront Park, the location. The start of a 3-game home stretch for the Lady Eagles. As Force going to rip a shot. Not going to be anywhere close, though, I will say. Well over top of the net it goes for number 10, Lauren Contini. Contini, though, showing in this game that she's got a leg on her, because that's the second shot that she's ripped from outside the 18. That one, though, well above the net. So she can put it in there from distance, folks. As off the foot of Junk it goes near midfield for Corhorn. As she's also going to come down and away with it, as Bailey Corhorn now setting Kalamazoo's attacking odds up with some success. Looking to play something into the middle, only to slow it down. And then now going left side off the foot of Canada and out of bounds it goes. So just a little strong there for Maddie Canada. However, nothing hurt for Kalamazoo FC, just needing to finish this half out with some good defense take whatever attacking opportunities you can get and capitalize as this first half is approaching a near end. 40 minutes gone by, still score one apiece for both these clubs, as it's just the third goal on the season for for Cleveland Force, next to the 8 that they've given up this year, sitting at -5 right now for goal differential. Not where the Force want to start their season, but playing against a really good Kalamazoo's team that has a lot of chemistry together and a lot of confidence in their attacking game. So this Force team, despite the 0-2 record and the goal differential, I mean, they're a solid club, a very solid club, good ball movement. They just got to capitalize on their moments when they get them, and try and get more between the few that you have. Sometimes early on in this first half, I've seen a lot of wasteful passes from Cleveland Force. And I mean, you've seen some from Kalamazoo too, but not as many as on that Cleveland side. If Cleveland wants to capitalize and set up some more attacking opportunities, they've got to be a lot smarter with that ball. Cleveland Force near midfield, trying to set something up. Trying to open one side of the field as they fake the left side now, trying to attack that right side. Crossing midfield, it goes with Demerle. Demerle going to slow this one back up into Contini. Contini goes middle of the field. She's going to play it into Babel. Babel cuts back left side. She's going to feed to Antonio. Antonio has a leg on her as well. She's going to pass it back into Batira. Batira to Antonio. Left side. Defended there by Mackenzie Jones. Goes Antonio. And the poke out from Kalamazoo's FC. Mackenzie Jones. What defense there. It's going to set up a corner kick here for Cleveland Force, but just a way to get rid of it. Try and set something up inside your zone. Or inside your defensive zone, I should say. For Kalamazoo FC, make sure you're getting bodies on everybody inside the box. Don't leave anybody really alone. And if you can get something, get it out and feed Akema Amakri up top and let the wheels go to work. Off the foot of the corner kick for Cleveland Force it goes. Going to be touched by Cunningham. And now Cleveland Force going to get a shot off and in, challenging Junk, but a good save there from Kaylin Junk and keeping it in front of her. Force still having an opportunity here, but good defense being played by the Eagles. It's going to roll out of bounds. It's going to stay with Kalamazoo FC. They're going to get a toss in here and try and set up one of their last few attacking opportunities here in this first half. As resuming play it goes here, Stolfus with the toss in, approaching the 45th minute here and getting close to halftime as Stolfus going to play it into that back line and then into Junk it goes from there. As now it's going to go left sideline to Stolfus. Stolfus back. As back and forth it goes in between teammates. As now Mackenzie Ford with it. Back over to Stolfus. Stolfus just going to keep it safe. And then back into Junk it goes for Kalamazoo. Junk going to switch sides now. She's going to go right side and play it into Mackenzie Jones. Jones looking to see which way she wants to go across midfield and into Canada. It goes a little far though, and it goes to Demerle of Cleveland Force. Demerle going to play it back into Babel. Babel getting something up in the air across midfield. Only to have Music on the returning end. Music going to play a lob ball over to Cunningham. Cunningham down that right side. She's got speed and can use it. Fakes him out. Puts something up. The night once again for Kalamazoo FC as Lauren Kochenis going to find her way into the score column. First of the year at home for her. As what a job by Kalamazoo FC to get that into the back of the net in the closing minutes of this first half. could hear that whistle any minute now. But 2-1 it goes, as that's the product they were looking for on the shelf, and they're going to go up and grab it. As the first half going right how Kalamazoo wants it to towards the end, as now they got a 2-1 lead, but Cleveland Forest quickly trying to go and find that equalizer, as they were the first team to score in this one 2 minutes into the game, but now 2 straight goals unanswered for Kalamazoo FC, as it's going to give them the lead 2-1 here, approaching that extra time here in Kalamazoo, Michigan at Mayor's Riverfront Park, as a Mockery almost setting up Kalamazoo with another opportunity. However, Forest going to deny it and make Kalamazoo work a little bit harder if they want to find something again before this buzzer goes off. Stolfus playing it slow back into Ford. Ford going to shoot it up right side, and this is going to be over for Cunningham. Callie Cunningham showing the wheels early in this first half and late in the first half, setting up really good opportunities. And it was a crucial part of that second goal here for Kalamazoo FC. As well, team soccer being played here today in Kalamazoo, Michigan. You can't complain here if you're an Eagle fan. As yeah, they had the little mislaps. As pushing a defender to the ground goes Lauren Contini. But the Midwest fans could say a good flop fake there by Maddie Canada. However, the ref's going to give the whistle. 47 minutes gone by here in this first half, so all of extra time is the only thing left here in this first half. 2-1 to score. It's Kalamazoo looking to maybe get another opportunity before this first half comes to a close. Off the foot of Ford it goes into their attacking zone, only to get this one taken away by Lily Babel. And this first half, 2-1 the score here for Kalamazoo FC over Cleveland Forest, and what a successful half for Kalamazoo FC. And if you're Coach Todd Wells, you have to be happy with the way that your team played in that first half, bouncing back after the early first minute goal, or second minute goal, I should say, for Cleveland Forest to find 2 goals unanswered and give them the 2-1 lead going into the halftime. As we're going to take a 15-minute break here on Kalamazoo's YouTube, and we'll be back here with the second half of action. Stick around as we got more USLW action coming your way here in 15 minutes. And back in action here for half number 2. Mayor's Riverfront Park, the location. Kalamazoo, Michigan, 2-0, or 2-1, excuse me, to score here as the Lady Eagles taking on Cleveland Forest, the Great Lakes divisional opponent in the USLW. As it's a 2-1 lead here, but the guys on the road can't say the same. Still first half of play against Midwest United. 1-0 the score, as trailing on the road. It's the men's squad looking to keep their ways, as Cleveland Forest in this matchup looking to find the equalizer coming out of the halftime, trailing Kalamazoo 2-1, as they were the first scorers here at Mayor's Riverfront Park, but 2 unanswered to end the first half. It's now Cunningham cutting into that right side, using the speed, but Demerlay going to get that one out of bounds. Last touch by Cleveland Forest, going to set up the corner kick here for Kalamazoo FC. As a corner kick for Kalamazoo FC, going to set up a lot of direction here. As Stolfus going to come in, try and see which way the Eagles want to attack out of the corner. As in the air, off the ground, and see who was last touched by. They're going to say another corner kick here, last touch by Cleveland Forest. So Stolfus going to get to do it again. That one, a ball really well played into the 18. Now, unfortunate for Kalamazoo, nobody able to get on the receiving end of it. As once again, Stolfus taking the steps, sends this one in the air. On the receiving end, it's going to be nobody. As Music now, she's going to slow it up, play it over in that left corner. She's going to cut back right side, get something into Amakri. As it came Amakri, the Toledo product from Hazlet, Michigan. Led the state of Michigan in goals and was nation ranked when she was in high school, earning her way into Toledo. She's going to get a shot up top, inside the 18, but then passes it, and it's going to be a shot wide up top. As 47 minutes going past here, and still 2-1. Kalamazoo in a comfortable lead right now for the time being, trying to keep what Cleveland Forest has brewing offensively just dormant here in this one. Is slipping up at the feet goes Demerlay, as now hopping back over for Kalamazoo's Newcomb. Newcomb going to try and get something inside to Amakri to get it taken away, but a quick takeaway from the Eagles themselves is going to keep this one right where it's at in their offensive zone. As a chance there for Music, but acrobat stuff there from the keeper from Cleveland Forest. Is Baresi going to keep this one right where it's at, 2-1. A dangerous chance, though, from CMU's Claudia Music. Another corner kick here from Stolfus. Stolfus going to take the hop to step, launching into the air on the receiving end, but off the post it goes. Cleveland going to get a chance here, create some separation, but Music going to come down on the receiving end and try and keep it offensively for Kalamazoo. She's going to play it into that corner, left side. Now into the 18, off the foot of Stolfus it goes. Or excuse me, not Stolfus, off the foot of Ford. Then it rolls up out of bounds, and we're going to get a goal kick here from Cleveland's keeper. 2-1 still the score. Nothing happening here so far in this second half. Approaching that 50th minute, just 5 minutes here into the second half goes Kalamazoo and Cleveland. A Great Lakes divisional matchup here in the USLW. Cleveland Forest looking to find their first win of the year. It's Kalamazoo looking to bounce back after 2 tough losses, both 1-0 scores. The Midwest United, you could say, a heartbreaker. Confusion from officials, but a ball played into Cunningham. She's going to shoot it left side. But a good save from Cleveland's keeper, Berezi, to keep this one right where it's at. A diving save, keeping this one 2-1. Berezi going to boot this one after the bounce off the ground. But a quick way to keep possession for Kalamazoo. And then off the back of their own player. And now Cleveland forced running away with it, only to get a bad ball behind Howe Golden. As now deflected off of Newcomb to Howe Golden, and then out of bounds off Howe Golden's leg. From Newcomb, as the incoming freshman to Western, looking for Callie Cunningham. However, it's going to go out of bounds, last touch by the Western Michigan transfer. As she was a Kent State product, Cunningham now transferring to Western Michigan. She's going to be playing some ball with Newcomb as she gets into her first minutes in Western Michigan next year. As Cunningham not able to get anything offensively for Kalamazoo. It's now Cleveland Force switching up, going middle of the field. Demerle trying to use those wheels, plays something into Howe Golden. Howe Golden left side feeding into the middle, and they're going to say offsides. As the officials stopping that play, is big momentum lost there for Cleveland Force as they had something going. However, got to keep everybody on sides, got to follow the same rules and try and expose those gaps evenly. As this one's going to be played off the foot of Junk. Junk's going to play it across midfield to Corhorn. Corhorn trying to get something there. However, it's just going to be bouncing back and forth between these two teams until Kalamazoo hops back on top in possession, trying to set something over on that left side offensively. Slowing it back now into Mackenzie Ford it goes, and she's just going to switch up and go to middle of the field with Mackenzie Jones. Jones shoots it up the middle to Cunningham. And then back he goes for Mackenzie Jones. Jones going to elect to keep it middle of the field, looking for a Mockery. A Mockery going to twist and twirl around the top of the 18, feeding Mackenzie Jones. Jones going to get a shot blocked. And then Claudia Music going to slow things back up here. Still offensively with Kalamazoo it goes. A nutmeg alert from Music. Putting one through into the middle. Open goal. But nothing on the receiving end it goes. As Kalamazoo having a couple of chances, but not able to capitalize inside their own 18, as it's going to go out of bounds now, deflected by Cleveland Force, as that's going to set up a corner kick here for Kalamazoo FC. As played in off the corner for Kalamazoo, it goes, trying to find somebody on the receiving end. Kalamazoo FC still with possession. A bad pass, but still finds an eagle on the receiving end of Stolfus. Stolfus played. And now crossing into the middle of the 18. Corhorn with the chance. The shot deflected. She's going to stick with it. Spinning in circles goes Corhorn. A good takeaway, though, by 31, Mackenzie Muir. As a chance there for Corhorn, still looking to find her first goal at home. The home faithful always loving and backing their superstar Corhorn. As, I mean, early in the first half, she was having two defenders draped all over her. I mean, Corhorn, she can score in fashion. But Cleveland Force trying to keep her quiet. I mean, if I was setting up the scouting report, I'd have to do the same thing. Her and a Mockery both. You got to try and find somebody to stick on them the whole time. Is Newcomb going to have something? Challenged by Golden. As Newcomb still going to stick with it. Demerle and Howe Golden both challenged by the youngster Newcomb. This one's just going to be sent up the middle of the field. I saw the idea of what they were going for, Cleveland that is, but wasteful in possession it goes. And we were saying at the end of that first half, Cleveland needing to be a little bit more careful when the ball's in their court, and then just wasteful in possession still coming out into this second half, needing to do a little bit better if you're going to find something to equalize this one and get it to 2 apiece. You got to capitalize when you have the moments right in front of you. Kalamazoo, they're going to have something now in their offensive zone as it's slowed back up with Canada. Good defense from Antonio of Cleveland, only to get this one knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Kalamazoo FC is that one's going to be Musser. The inbound now to Cleveland. Is Antonio going to stick with it after a good slide tackle from Kalamazoo? Is Maddie Canada the one trying to get that one out? And now a takeaway here from Musser of Kalamazoo FC. So they're going to play this one middle of the field to Amakri. Amakri back to Corhorn. And then Corhorn going to lose this one. Cleveland force now in. Antonio attacking middle of the field, only to slow it up and let Kalamazoo catch back up. As slowly going about their ways in middle, as attacking up on it now goes Amakri, Corhorn, and Musser. As now, after getting some bodies to jump up, there's going to be some contact played into Junk, but Junk's going to hop right back up. And now we're going to get a whistle, and the trainers are going to be waved onto the field here at Mayor's Riverfront Park. So with that, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back here when play resumes at Mayor's Riverfront Park. This current score, 2-1, as Kalamazoo leads it here at home. And back into action goes Kalamazoo FC. There are 58 minutes, gone into this game. Quickly going about this second half is Kalamazoo trying to keep the score where it's at and maybe add on a little more are the Lady Eagles. As right now just playing small ball and keeping it away from anything the force is trying to go. Now Mackenzie Jones attacking the middle of the field. She's going to play it up to Amakri. And Amakri just slowing it back up to Cunningham. And now it's going right side, trying to get something into Musig. Musig going to fake left, go right. She's going to get Demerlay to bite. She's going to play something now off her right foot into the middle. And then that's going to be grabbed up by Cleveland's keeper. And the score stays right where it's at. A good chance, though. Claudia Musig trying to do more in the exposing part of this defense for Cleveland. As Kalamazoo forward has had a productive day so far, defensively and offensively, as a ball from Corhorn into the middle of the field, but they're going to call her offsides. Callie Cunningham just a little bit in front of that back line. It's going to draw the whistle every time, and the officials down there on the sideline can see that clear as day. However, got to like the urgency, the sense of readiness, and the attacking out of Cunningham. She can't ask for anything better. It's now Kalamazoo FC trying to cross midfield. They're going to give something into Musig. Musig going to cut, stop, and play something over into the middle. Looking for Corhorn. However, she's going to find Fossil on that force side. It's now Cleveland going to try and force something into the middle as Babel now Tried running away with it, but the whistle from the official is going to stop play, and Kalamazoo is going to take over their defensive zone. Now Kalamazoo breaking. And crossing midfield. So they're going to play something up that right side into Musser. Musser going to spin around now, giving to Stolfus. Stolfus coming down that left side, plays into a Mockery, middle of the field. A Mockery gives to Bailey. Outside the 18, now striking. That one's going to be wide right, but they're going to say that was deflected off a hand there. As it might not have found a hand, but it was definitely deflected. And last touch by the Cleveland Force teammate. And now it's going to set up a corner kick here off the foot of Stolfus. 2-1. Kalamazoo leading at home. First of a 3-game home stretch here to end the month of May and start the month of June, as Saturday a doubleheader between the men's and women's team. Has some substitutions going to be coming into play now for Kalamazoo. Hannah Thompson coming onto the field, as well as Allie French coming into play for Kalamazoo FC, as Maddie Canada and Akema Mockery going to have a seat for the rest of this one. 60 minutes played, and a good 60 minutes from both. It's now Kalamazoo FC breaking and getting a quick takeaway here. Off the substitutions goes Allie French. She's just going to slow things up and give back to her teammate. As now it's going to go left side off the foot of Thompson. Thompson feeding, trying to look for French and Corhorn. Still sticking with it, though, goes Thompson. Hannah Thompson going to look for Corhorn. Corhorn's got something into the 6. Just wide left, though. Not enough room over there. That would have been played up just 5 more yards or so. That would have been a good look there for Bailey. Kalamazoo's trying to get Corhorn going. However, quiet so far in this matchup. Just playing some great teammate soccer goes Bailey. As she's really setting up her team good and getting this offense for Kalamazoo some good looks. And here we go once again. Moving around inside that 18 goes Corhorn. She's going to set up Music. Music, a beautiful ball across the middle. Cunningham just not able to capitalize. Opportunities here in the second half for Kalamazoo. As Stolfus trying to slash down that left sideline. So they're going to say last touch by Cleveland, and another toss in here for the Eagles. So they're going to try and play something into Corhorn. Bailey Corhorn going to be swarmed by defenders, only to poke this one out and slow it up to Hannah Thompson. Thompson going to give a little chip shot over to that middle, where Claudia Music is going to be met by Howe Golden. Howe Golden on the takeaway here for Cleveland Force. She's going to try and switch things up, going through Newcomb's legs, that she's going to give her the welcome to USLW moment. Not too many of those from the newcomer. As Cleveland Force trying to get something going, momentum swinging into their offensive side. The flashy moves and the shot rung off way outside from Babel. An easy scoop and grab there for Kaylin Junk, as she's going to try and set Kalamazoo up. Try and get some of this clock down, get a good possession here, and really keep it with your team. She's just going to sky this one up in the middle, looking for Cunningham and some other players like French in the middle. It's now coming down with it goes Kalamazoo FC. They're going to play it to Claudia Music. Music going to try and shoot up that right sideline to Cunningham, but out of bounds, last touched by Demerlay. So now Corhorn having a chance here. She's going to look something up into the middle of the 18. Music going to come down with it. Now Claudia Music going to try and cut back, as there's going to be a shot rung off from Kalamazoo FC. Allen looking. She's going to feed that back line. So now French going to come down with it. She's going to have a defender all over her. As Butera playing good defense for Cleveland and slowing up what Kalamazoo had cooking. But now it goes down left side here for the Eagles. Cutting back goes Kalamazoo, now feeding. Off the right foot and into Corhorn it goes. A chance here for Music. She's going to loft it up, and that's going to be wide right. A diving attempt, though, from the keeper of Cleveland, as Baresi doing everything in her power to keep that one out. Just a little wide right, though, it goes. A good look as Claudia Music really having a day down there inside the 18 and getting Baresi jumping all over left to right. But, I mean, the athleticism out of Cleveland's keeper does not go unseen, let me tell you. Man, oh man, the leaping ability, keeping this game right where it's at, 2-1 still Kalamazoo. Having chances, I mean, it could be a 4-1 game with all the opportunities that Kalamazoo's had. Missing a couple of different areas to capitalize, but still playing good and clean soccer here in the later stages of this second half. Now into the middle it goes, and a shot's going to be rung off. Just up top a little bit too much there for Kalamazoo FC. As a score update for the men's side for Kalamazoo FC on the road in Grand Rapids, taking on Midwest United, trailing 2-0 now. As the odds getting steeper and steeper for the men's club over in the Lady Eagles, as they lead this force squad and trying to hop back into the win column after two tough losses. So now quickly going out of the break goes Stolfus, is almost stumbling a little bit, trying to give Corhorn something over the middle, but that ball is just going to be deflected and taken away by Cleveland. Is now getting something over the middle of the field, only to slow it back up and into the back line to Lillian Ma. Goes Cleveland. Cleveland now going to get a pass there. It's going to be deflected by Cunningham. Cunningham and Corhorn have the chase. 2-on-1. The feed to Corhorn and a goal. Assisted by Cunningham, as, I mean, the easy, uneven run right there from Corhorn and Cunningham. Getting the back line unready and off foot for Cleveland. And that's going to be another goal for Kalamazoo FC, as it's going to be 3-1 now. Excuse me. Yeah, 3-1 as Kalamazoo FC over Cleveland Force, getting the better of them. It's now just a little bit more of a comfortable padding to this lead for Kalamazoo FC. 3-1 over the Great Lakes divisional opponent, Cleveland Force, and trying to make it 3 in a row against this Cleveland Force team since they started playing each other last year. As the last two games last year, both won by Kalamazoo FC, trying to make it 3-0 history against this club. As it goes out of bounds, last touch by Cunningham. Quickly, though, goes the toss in to Howe Golden. As Golden trying to play Jones. Going to get a whistle, though, as before the shot's rung off, so no goal there for Howe Golden. But Howe Golden right there by herself, just trying to intimidate that back line and really try and show off the wheels. As, I mean, that speed going up against two Kalamazoo defenders, you definitely saw it on display right there. So needing to keep Howe Golden with someone with speed all over her. Now it goes off of Junk and all the way into the other end to Cleveland's keeper, as off the foot of Baresi it goes now into Cunningham. Cunningham going to slow things up a bit, let Kalamazoo catch up, and she's going to feed it back into her center backs. As now a ball is going to go right side for Corhorn. Corhorn's going to have it now down on that baseline, and then she's just going to let this one go too far outside, looking for Claudia Musig as we approach the 71st minute. A toss in here for Demerle. As Cleveland, not many options to go off the toss in. This one's going to be taken away by Newcomb right out of the gates. It's going to be touched by Corhorn to French. French going to slow things up now and give to Stolfus. Stolfus goes left side. As looking to get something into the 18 goes Kalamazoo, only to get this one taken away, but a couple of bodies hitting the ground and some contact being drawn. So that one's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Lily Babel. And a toss in here for Kalamazoo FC. Jones going to lob this one up, trying to get something against the keeper, and what a diving catch there made by Baresi. As Cleveland's keeper, one heck of a game so far. 72 minutes gone by. I mean, the 3-1 lead for Kalamazoo, but if it weren't for Baresi, Cleveland would have a tougher game. I mean, just 3-1's the lead right now, but a couple of saves and a couple of good performing plays by Baresi. I mean, keeping that score where it's at, because it could be out of hand if it weren't for Baresi. Down the right sideline it goes for Cunningham, but a good slide tackle there out of number 15, that being Michaela Howe-Golden, as the speed there from Howe-Golden, talking a little bit ago, on display once again, but getting later into this game and deeper into that gas tank goes Howe-Golden. You got to wonder how much she's got left. However, the Force not having any substitutional players in this matchup, I mean, everybody's going to be going the full 90 minutes, so Kalamazoo definitely having the fresher legs with the substitutions in this matchup. As this one's popped up into the air. Last touched by Kalamazoo FC, but then out of bounds it goes as off the foot of Mackenzie Jones and into the air and then out of bounds. As they're going to say it was last touched by a Force defender. The corner kick here in the 73rd minute for Kalamazoo FC. As Stolfus going to send this one up into the 18 off the corner kick. As then finding a defender. And then now Musig coming down with it. Only after the pass from Musig is it going to go away and out of bounds. They're going to say last touch by Kalamazoo, or excuse me, by Cleveland. Kalamazoo FC going to get a toss in. As something challenging the keeper there off the foot of Corhorn, outside of the 18, and a good save. As we have a score update once again from Grand Rapids. Kalamazoo FC's men's squad playing Midwest United. Now 2-1 the score as Kalamazoo finding a goal in that matchup to try and draw back a little closer against the number 1 ranked team in the Great Lakes Division, the 4-0 Midwest United team on that men's side. I mean, playing some good soccer early into this 24 campaign, but trying to spoil it on the road goes Kalamazoo. As there's also going to be another well-struck ball to Muser inside the 18. She's going to try and chip the goalie, however, over top, and nobody on the receiving end. Cunningham coming in a little late, but they're going to say the last touch out of bounds by Cunningham, and it's going to set up the goalie kick here. It's not going to be the goal kick. It's going to be a free kick, a little bit deeper than where a goal kick would be. So I guess a heads-up play from Kalamazoo right there to get it deeper and keep it inside your zone. Despite the contact, I mean, Cunningham getting after it here. And then out of bounds it goes. The toss in here. Trying to find Howe-Golden. and then sent deep towards midfield, and that's where Kalamazoo takes away. As Mackenzie Jones, she's going to play something into Corhorn near the middle of the field. Corhorn, she's going to try and get over to French. French going to deliver to Cunningham, but Cunningham well defended by Demerlay. As a toss in here, Kalamazoo FC. As Newcomb going to heave this one into the 18, looking for Corhorn. French going to come down away with it, but that's going to be left too much up top. Not challenging Baresi too much on that last shot was Kalamazoo. Baresi, she's going to play into that back line and try and give Cleveland some hope here, but a long pass off the foot of a defender. Kalamazoo FC is going to come away with it, only to have some contact near the middle of the field and then send over that left side to Musser. It's now a slide to try and keep this one alive. They're going to do so. Another deflected pass here between these two teams. Cleveland Force, though, going to stick with it. A good move out of Antonio there from Cleveland. And now slowly approaching that midfield goes Cleveland. They're going to try and get something up the field to Howe Golden, but Howe Golden not able to get to that one before Jones and Junk, both those Grand Valley defender and goalkeeping duo. That chemistry in that back line continues to grow game by game. And you got teammates all over in that back line. Really gel together and make it easy, especially when you're all familiar with each other and have been playing a couple of years, a couple of seasons together. Trying to get something down that left side for Kalamazoo. Goes Stolfus, however, out of bounds. And Cleveland going to take over, only to lose it off the toss-in. And a whistle from the officials is going to give it right back to Cleveland as we approach that 78th minute marker. Cleveland Forest now trying to get something going down that left sideline. Is this one going to be Demerlay? Demerlay passes back over to Muir. Muir now, she's going to find something into Butera. Butera now goes to Contini. Contini going to try and get a shot, but that's wide right. Not even needing the hands goes Kaylin Junk. She's going to try and milk a little bit of the clock, only then to pick it up and send everybody back down the field. So we approach that 79th minute marker, only about 10 minutes or so left in regular time, and then whatever the officials are going to give everybody an extra. It's been a very one-sided attacking affair here since about the first half. I mean, only a little bit going for Cleveland in that first half in the very first couple of minutes, but then since then it's been all Kalamazoo FC in this one. Not getting a lot going and kind of deflating passes just like that one. The confidence for Cleveland just gets shut down play after play. And you can kind of tell in the body language and body posture after these takeaways happen. Just getting frustrated and not able to keep it in their way very long after getting a good takeaway. As a shot's going to be rung off from outside the 18 of Valley French. But an easy grab there for Baresi has got to challenge Baresi a little more than right at her. However, 3-1 still the score. 80 minutes gone by here in Kalamazoo. As Bailey Corhorn going to give a slide for the ball, and she's going to get a good takeaway. However, they're going to say the slide tackle there, a little dirty from Corhorn, is they're going to get a whistle and slow up play here, but no cards or anything to come out of the pockets. As Corhorn just going for the ball. Trying to just make some impressive plays for her team and trying to get this lead up even longer than what it is. The 2-goal lead, 3-1 right now for Kalamazoo FC. 80 minutes gone by. Just about 10 minutes or so left to go. As Portage's Jada Spiller is going to check in, the Davenport University product. She's going to see some late minutes here. It's about 10 or so left to go, so that fresh leg advantage going to play itself one more time here for Kalamazoo FC. As the substitution's been coming out all over the place. Possibly even see a couple of more here in the later stages of this game, but we shall see as we keep going on. Here in the second half, a 3-1 lead for Kalamazoo FC. 2 unanswered goals, or 3 unanswered goals, I should say now. As French coming away with it, middle of the field, she's going to try and go right side to Cunningham. Callie Cunningham got a couple of players she can go across the field to. She's going to go across to Corhorn. Faking with the left goes Bailey. She's going to pass off here to French. And French going to get a deflection, as it was a good chance there for an on-net attempt. But good deflecting and defending there out of that back line for Cleveland Force. Approaching that 82nd minute, 3-1 to score here for Kalamazoo FC. I was looking to close this one better in the standings in the Great Lakes Division. With a win right here, they'll tie that second place points in Ann Arbor. As Ann Arbor also having a chance, though, to tie it back up or even take the lead. They don't have a game, though, until Sunday. So if Kalamazoo can find a win here and tie it and then win again on Saturday, they'll take that second place spot. But we'll see if they can hold it for long. We shall see, because if they win here, they'll tie 7 points into second place. And then they got a good Flint City team coming into Kalamazoo Saturday, where we'll see as the defending champs of the USLW going to try and make a statement. But Kalamazoo, it's a big game for them to win and try and take into their own hands, because taking down the defending champs gives you some momentum into that back half of the season. As another sub's going to come onto the field. As that's going to do it here for Cunningham, as Kiesler's going to come onto the field for Kalamazoo FC. She's going to see a little bit of late action here as well. It'll be about 10 minutes or so, whatever of extra time the officials are wanting to give, as we're approaching that 84th minute. I would assume it's got to be something close, as that one's going to be chipped up and into the back of the net. Some good team goaling, or soccer feeding into that goal. As Kiesler checking into the game. And man, oh man, right out of the gate getting a goal goes Kiesler. And that's going to bring the lead up to 3, as it's a 4-1 game now here for Kalamazoo FC. I was looking down at the lineup, trying to find my names and numbers, get everything, closing it out. And I mean, you got to think it's pretty much it for Kalamazoo in this game. If they can keep it clean, keep it composed. I mean, as I say that, body's hitting the ground, but if they can keep it clean, keep it composed, I mean, they got room to let up a few. I mean, I know that's not the name of the game. You don't want to play it and give yourself, I mean, you have the cushion. You don't want to give it away, but the cushion's there late in this game. As, I mean, it would be madness for Cleveland to come back into this one down 3. As they've been pretty quiet since the opening stages of this matchup. Not too many things brewing, especially in this second half offensively for Cleveland Force. As Kaylin Junks had herself kind of a quiet second half. Not much brewing for her in between the posts. Can't say the same, though, down there for Stacy Baresi, as she has been busy in between the posts, trying to keep Kalamazoo's offensive onslaught at a standstill. But 4-1's the score now as the lead continues to grow over Cleveland. Trying to stay unbeaten against this program in its history is now once again down the sideline. It goes for Kalamazoo FC. But a good piece of defending, but still in the offensive zone of Kalamazoo FC. So playing small ball and keeping it away from Kalamazoo goes Cleveland. Only to launch it up the field and get it taken away. So wasteful one more time tonight goes Cleveland. As those times wasteful in possession, they're going to add up. And I mean, you can only be so wasteful, especially when you're down 3 and trailing. You got to try and minimize those mistakes as much as possible. Cleveland, though, adding and kind of not giving themselves any room to breathe. "87 minutes gone by, so just a little bit of time left, and then whatever of extra time the officials willing to give down there on the field. Kalamazoo FC cutting back and forth, trying to get a shot off, but that's deflected from Stolfish. Still trying to attack that left side. Now they're going to shoot it over to the right. As Newcomb going to meet a couple of forced defenders in the middle. However, Howe Golden not liking the official's call. Trying to play through the contact. However, a takeaway. Kalamazoo FC trying to hold on and hold out. Approaching that 88th minute. 4-1 the score here in Kalamazoo, Mayor's Riverfront Park. The skies were looking gray a little bit earlier, but now just a little bit of overcast and clear skies. Probably the rest of the night. As the sun's starting to set here in Kalamazoo, the lights are going to be flicked on for the rest of this one. Starting to get a little darker, a little colder. But the bodies down on the field flying around, staying warm for sure. It's cutting back and forth. It goes for Demerlay. And then out of bounds. Last touch by Kalamazoo FC. So Cleveland going to take over late here in the second half. You got to think it's pretty much all wrapped up from here for Kalamazoo. A 3-goal advantage approaching that extra time. Cleveland Force just trying to keep this game where it's at. Try and make it less ugly for yourselves on the scorecards. As slowly going out of this sideline, Cleveland, not much gusto at all. As the toss-in attempt's going to be immediately rejected by Mackenzie Jones. She said, "Get that one out of here. Not on my sideline." As the Eagles giving no room to play along that sideline. As Lauren Contini not happy with the officials, saying they missed a couple of contact plays. However, Cleveland going to come away with it. Antonio crossing midfield, keeping that left sideline, trying to get around Thompson, and does, only to trip up herself, and Kayla Newcomb coming away with it. She's going to send a ball up the middle of the field to Corhorn. Corhorn going to kill it out of the middle of the air. And a takeaway here for Cleveland Forces. Now it's all just extra time in the rest of this matchup. A 3-goal advantage for Kalamazoo FC. As there's going to be a whistle. And that one out of bounds. Kalamazoo going to take over. And a toss in here for Newcomb. Kayla going to throw this one inbound and trying to find her teammate. However, Antonio coming away with it here for Cleveland. On the inbound, she's going to throw it across midfield as Contini going to stick with it after the lobbed ball in the air. As now a chance here for Cleveland as Babel. Offsides, though, on the attack. As nothing was brewing. Well, I can't say nothing. They had some momentum going, only to send it through and away. 4-1 the score here, though, in Kalamazoo. Only extra time here, 91 minutes gone by. So, however the officials want to let them keep on playing. As you got to think, though, for Kalamazoo FC, Todd Wells, the coaching staff, you've got to be happy with how this game has turned out, especially after giving the early stage goal to Cleveland Forest. Now here's something into the middle for Bailey Corhorn, using that left foot, but right at Baresi it goes. Still a diving attempt. And there's the 3 whistles from the officials. A good matchup today played here at Mayor's Riverfront Park. The final score, Kalamazoo FC 4 to Cleveland's 1. As the goal differential for Cleveland gets a little, and finding their way back into the win column. Now 7 points and tied for second place in the Great Lakes Division. As Kalamazoo's going to keep their push for the playoffs onwards. A really good matchup here today. 4-1 the victory here for Kalamazoo. As the next time we're going to see him here in action this Saturday against the Flint City Bucks, the defending Great Lakes Divisional Champions. They're going to be walking into Kalamazoo as we're going to have a great doubleheader matchup. The women's playing at 5 o'clock, followed by the men's team at 7. As we should have an action-packed day here Saturday. It should be a good one. Come down to Mayor's Riverfront Park, get yourself a cold one. Enjoy some classic soccer here in the Kalamazoo area. As signing off here tonight, my name's Sebastian O'Leary. Thank you for joining me alongside this USLW matchup in the Great Lakes Division between Kalamazoo FC and Cleveland Forest. As a 4-1 victory is going to wrap it up from Mayor's Riverfront Park. Good night, everybody.